Howdy folks, here at Fields of Adventure we're into our fall season. This year's corn maze theme is Buy Fresh, Buy Local, which means a lot to myself and our family. I'm Farmer Chris. My wife and our children are here on the weekends for you to come out and enjoy our farm, and with our fun activities you can come out and enjoy our fresh made apple cider donuts and the fresh kettle corn as it's being popped right in front of you. Here on the farm we grow popcorn that you can pick your own popcorn right out of the field. This year we have added some new attractions so you can come back and see what we've done to entice your visit and just enjoy a family outing and enjoy the fresh country air. Here in our pumpkin patch, we grow over 30 varieties, from eating pumpkins to decorating pumpkins to your smallest gourds to your 30-40 pound pumpkins. Now we are going to learn about our pumpkins.
We hope you enjoy this video that will talk about how we plant, grow, and harvest pumpkins. The first step we need to plant pumpkins is to get the fields ready. We will use a tractor and implements. Implements are pieces of equipment that we attach to the tractor to do different things to get the fields ready for the plants. Some of the implements and steps we will do to get ready include plowing, disking, using a land plane, and cultivating. Farmers will also take soil samples. This allows them to see how healthy their soil is. Sometimes they need to add nutrients to the soil. Nutrients are like food for the plant. They need good, healthy nutrients in order to grow big and strong, just like we drink milk or eat fruits and vegetables so we can grow big and strong. Now that the fields are ready, it's time to plant the seeds. The most important part is to be sure that we get the seeds in the right spacing. Depending on the pumpkin variety, we need to give them a lot of space or a little bit of space. So some pumpkins, like those prize winner pumpkins, they're really big. They like to spread out their vines really tall. They need as much spacing as Shaquille O'Neal is tall. Some pumpkin varieties, they're just more bushy, and so they don't need quite as much space. Once the seed has been planted, it's time to irrigate. Irrigating, or irrigation, are farmers' fancy way of saying watering. Depending on where you live in the United States, it may be a bit different on how we water. Some places, like California, use pipe sprinklers because it doesn't rain during the summer. Other areas, like the Midwest, get rain in the summers so they can rely on their rain to water their plants. Once the seed has had enough water to drink, it will germinate. This means it will start to grow roots, the stem, and its first leaves. The root of the plant are kind of like legs. As the plant gets bigger, the roots will give the plants the support it needs to grow its pumpkins. The roots are also like straws that suck up water and nutrients to give to the stem and leaves. As the stem is coming from the seed in the dirt, it will keep growing until it can find the sun. Once it finds the sun, it makes two leaves that will be the same shape as the seed you planted. Now it is the job of those two leaves to soak up the sun and get as much energy as it can to make more leaves. The leaves soak up the sun through a process called photosynthesis. They take in the sun and carbon dioxide, or CO2, and use what they need, then release oxygen into the air. That is why plants are so important to our world. In order to get our pumpkin, we need two types of flowers on our pumpkin plant. We need a boy flower and a girl flower. The bees will visit the boy flower, get some pollen on its body, spread it to the girl flower, and then the girl flower will be able to produce that pumpkin. Now, the process of pollination is when a bee flies into a flower, shakes its body around, sucks up nectar, and gets that pollen all over its body. Pollen is a lot like Cheeto dust. You know when you eat Cheetos and you get that orange stuff all over your hands? That's kind of how pollen sticks to bees. Then when they're flying around from flower to flower, they're spreading around that pollen, allowing that flower to become a fruit. On this pumpkin plant, we can see our boy flowers and our girl flowers. These ones that are up high here, these are boy flowers. You can see that there's no pumpkins growing behind the flower. Down here, we can see our girl flowers. On this one here, if we look really closely, we can see a really small little pumpkin growing there because it's been pollinated. And this one back here, we can see a good, beautiful pumpkin that's starting to grow. And you can see as they're baby pumpkins, they will be that nice green color. You may also notice that our pumpkin plants are very similar to your watermelon or squash plants that you have growing at your home garden. That is because they are all from the same scientific family called Cucurbitaceae, or cucurbits for short. So because they're from the same family, they have similar traits, just like you might look a lot like your brother or sister. As we mentioned earlier, our plants need a lot of water. So as the pumpkins continue to grow bigger, we need to be sure we're constantly watering them. Pumpkins are really thirsty. They're actually made up of 90% water. It's also important for us to watch the pumpkins closely to make sure they stay healthy. As they grow, we watch for bad bugs and diseases on the pumpkins. One really bad bug is called an aphid. An aphid is a small green bug that will eat the pumpkin, so it is important that we get rid of those. Ladybugs are an important bug for farmers because they will eat those aphids. One ladybug can eat up to 18,000 aphids in its lifetime. Now it's time for us to harvest our pumpkins. So when you head to the field, make sure you're picking a pumpkin that doesn't have any soft spots and has a nice green stem. You also want to be sure to pick it up from the bottom so we don't break that stem. When you get home, store it in a cool, dry place until you're ready to carve it for Halloween. Have fun picking the perfect pumpkin.